Hello everyone, I am Shruti Singhal from ThinkQuestion Software Private Limited. Today in this session, we are going to discuss some very basic SQL interview questions. So these SQL interview questions are generally asked in the interview. So we are going to discuss how to answer them and how to basically give examples in each scenario. So let's get started with it. One by one, I'll be asking you the question, right? So the very first question
Yes, ma'am.
is you have to explain normalization and its need. What is normalization and what is the need of normalization? Okay, Shubham, can you answer this question?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yeah.
Normalization is the process of organizing database to minimize data redundancy and improve data integrity. It divides the large tables into smaller related tables and defines a relationship along them. Uh, why we need data normalization is that to avoid data anomalies like insertion, update, and deletion problems. It saves
Okay.
storage space by eliminating the duplicate data, and it
Yeah.
ensures consistency and integrity. There are normal forms like first normal form like 1F. It checks that no repeating groups or it ensures that atomic values only included in table. Their second one is 2NF like it remove partial dependencies
Dependency.
dependencies
Yes.
and next one is 3NF it removes a transitive dependency. That's all, ma'am.
Yes. So basically, normalization is the process by which we organize the data in the database and it helps us to reduce the redundancy. So what we do is we decompose the table in such a way that all the relations that we are making between the two tables, they are logical, right? They eliminate the redundancy and it also maintains the consistency and integrity of the data. So why normalization is needed? So the very first thing is to remove any kind of anomalies like insert anomaly, delete anomaly, and update anomaly. Also to ensure the data consistency and to make the queries little efficient. So this makes the data maintenance easy and help us to scale the data in the future. So as said by Shubham, there are various forms of normalization, which is 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, and then we also have BCNF and so on. But if you are able to manage till 3NF also, it is good enough because over there you basically decompose the table and you avoid any kind of partial and transitive dependency. Okay. So that is what is normalization is. So whenever you are creating any database structure, for example, library management system or banking management system, you need to take care that when you are creating the tables, they are all logically related to each other and there is no uh, anomalies present over there, right? Okay. So this is the question of the first answer, question of the first answer, right? So I have given the answer and well explained by Shubham as well that what is normalization and what is the need. Next question is, guys, what are constraints in SQL? This is a very important question which is asked in interviews. But what are constraints in SQL? And I would like to ask Abhijit. Abhijit, can you answer this question?
Yes, ma'am. So
Yes.
basically, constraints in SQL are rules applied on the column and table in relational database to limit the type of data which can be inserted, updated, or deleted. There are six types
Right.
of constraints in SQL. First is not
Hmm.
null. It ensures that column cannot consist a null value. Second is
Right.
unique. It ensures that every value in a column must be an unique.
Hmm.
Third is primary key. It is a combination of both not null and unique to uniquely
Right.
identify each row in a table.
Hmm.
Fourth is foreign key. It ensures that
Hmm.
value from one table matches the value of another table's primary key. Fifth is
Right.
check. It restricts the value based on a given condition. And last is default. It provides a predefined value if value is given or not given.
Very well explained by Abhijit. It was a complete
Yes.
answer with a complete explanation, right? So constraints are anything, any rules that we are applying, which basically restricts the user. Okay. Abhijit, can you please rectify your image because there is some internet issue from your end. So basically it restricts the user any rules that you are applying to the column to ensure the valid data and that is stored in the table. And as said by Abhijit, there are various types of constraints like not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, and default. And according to the validation that is required, you can put on that constraints, right? So I hope these two questions are clear to all of you. Let us move towards the next question, that what is the difference between char and varchar? So we all know there are various types of data types that is given by SQL, which includes numeric data type, text data type, date data types. But in the text data type, there is two crucial data types, that is char and varchar, which is not same like your Java. So Shailesh, can you just explain me what is the difference between char and varchar?
Yes, ma'am. Char
Yes.
is a fixed length of size that always uses n number of space, and
Yes.
patch with a space if the value is shorter. Means we define
Okay.
a character with suppose 15. So we want to print some like a hello. So it uses four characters, and other space is patched with the n number of spaces. And
Okay.
varchar has a variable length that stores only actual character and saves space, but slightly slower.
Right.
Uh, that's it.
Okay. So see, again, when I am saying that whenever you're giving such answers, you have to give the examples where you will use char, where you will use varchar. So char basically means the fixed length. Okay. So it is not like your Java that char means one character. So char basically means fixed length characters, and varchar means variable length character. For example, if I have used some particular variable like name and I have written char 10. So if my name is of 4 characters, I will be padded with white spaces to complete those 10 characters. But if it is a varchar, then it will utilize only 4 characters. But when it comes to efficiency or when it comes to performance, then obviously char is faster, whereas varchar has to do certain optimization. So it is more efficient, but it is not faster. So in terms of efficiency, varchar is good. In terms of performance or faster, then char is good. So example is, for example, you have mobile number. Okay. We all know mobile number is always of 10 units. So we can use char 10 over there because we want that it should not exceed that 10 and it will be always of 10 characters. So I can increase my performance over there. But name, company name, over there we must prefer to use that. So please always give the answers along with the examples. Okay. Yes, guys. So right now
Yes,
we
Yes,
ma'am.
have
ma'am.
discussed 3 important questions. Okay. The very first was, yes,
No,
Normalization.
normalization. Then we
normalization,
discussed
Normalization,
about constraints, and then we have
constraint.
discussed about 2 important data types, char and varchar.
varchar.
Let us move ahead with the next question. So this is also a very important question asked in the interview, that what is the difference between delete, drop, and truncate? Okay. So now I would like to ask this question again from Shubham, that what is the difference between delete, drop, and truncate? Please explain it point by point. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Shubham.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, and delete, first of all, delete removes the selected rows using where clause, and
Mhm.
the delete statement is slower because it uses row by row logging. And
Okay.
in the delete statement, rollback is possible. For example, we can uh, delete the row where department ID is 5 from the
Hmm.
employee table using the delete command. Next one is
Okay.
truncate. Uh,
Hmm.
Using truncate, we can remove all rows instantly. Uh, remove
Okay.
The truncate has minimal logging, and it is faster than the delete command. And we cannot use where clause in truncate
Okay.
statement. For example, we can truncate table uh, employee.
Hmm.
Next one is drop command. The drop command deletes the entire table plus its data permanently. It cannot be rolled back. And for example, we can drop the table employee.
Okay. So basically, these 3 commands come for the deletion purpose only, right? So when I talk
Yes.
about drop and truncate are part of DDL commands. DDL means data definition language, and truncate basically, delete comes under DML command, that is data manipulation language. So DDL commands cannot be rolled back. So that is why we cannot roll back. Roll back means we cannot, after committing the operation is auto commit. We can't roll back at any situation. So drop and truncate cannot be rolled back, whereas delete command can be rolled back if the auto commit is on. Now, when it comes to truncate means that we are going to delete the entire data, but the structure, that means the headers, the structure will remain in the table. Whereas drop, it deletes the table permanently. Along with the structure and detail, everything gets deleted. But when it comes to delete, even if I write delete from student, it will delete my entire rows. But over there, we have an extra provision that we can provide a condition. So that condition is basically given by the where clause. So the rows which will fulfill those conditions will be deleted. But there is one more thing as said by Shubham that is called as minimal logging. So what is that? This is basically whenever we are using the function like auto increment with the primary key. So whenever we are truncating the table, the auto increment will again starts from the refresh mode. So if the last entry that we have added is 6, let's say, so it will again start from 1. But when we do delete from table, we are again deleting the entire rows using the delete command. Here, the logging will be maintained, right? So when we again enter any particular row, it will start from the last logging that has happened. So if it was like 7, then the new entry will have the ID like 8. So that is the meaning of this minimal logging. So that is how delete, drop, truncate, and these delete, drop, truncate commands are different. So generally, the answer given is only that the structure one, where clause, you have to talk about logging, you have to talk about rollbacking and all these points also when it comes to the answering of this question. Right, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So always try to give the example as I have already said this thing. Okay. Now let us move towards the next question. The next question is, how can we change the data type of the column added? See, whenever I'm asking this question, please be adhere that what I'm saying. I'm not asking to change the column name. I'm not asking to add a column or to drop a column. I'm just asking to change the data type of the column. So what is the thing? Anybody who can answer me? Yes, Abhijit?
We can change data type of a column by using alter command.
Yes.
Alter table name, modify column name, and its data type.
Yes. So basically, when we are using alter command, there are various different provisions given. Suppose if I want to add a column, then we write alter table name, and add column, and simply we give the column name along with the data type. What other variations we have? So if we have to change only the data type, then what do we have to do?
Modify.
Alter table name, modify column, and then we have to give the new data type. What
Data
are any other variation that you are aware about? Any
Uh,
other variation? We have just talked about that we have to change the data type,
data
right?
type.
Any other variation that you know? Like for example, if I just want to change the column name, then how we can do it?
We can do it by rename.
Yes. So basically, if you want to change the name of the column only, so you can write alter table name, rename column. Okay, rename column, the old column name to the new column name.
New
Any
column.
other variation? If I want to change both the name and the data type, then what we can do if I want to change both the name and the data type? Anyone? So it was change column. Do you remember?
change.
It was alter
Yes.
table name. Then we have to write change column, whatever the old column name was, then the new column name and the new data type. So please remember all the variation. If the question is strictly one question, don't just get stuck with that. You should be knowing all the different variation. If it is data type, then interviewer can then ask you about how to change the column name. Then he can also ask you how to change both the things. So everything should be very clear in your mind, right? So alter command is what? Alter command is basically used whenever you have to modify the structure. It is a DDL command. So here we are changing the what? Data type. That is a structure that comes under structure. So that is why we are using alter command. So I hope till here it is clear, guys,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, guys, let us move towards the next question. That is, what are the benefits of adding primary key? We all know primary key is a very important thing that is present in each table. But what are the benefits? Why do we add it? Shailesh, can you answer this?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, First of all, the primary key is in a table that uniquely identify each row in the table. A table can have only one primary key.
Right.
So a primary key column cannot contain null values and automatically creates unique index to optimize the searches. There are various benefits of primary key that uniquely identify each row, that every row in the table cannot uniquely identify using a primary key. So it prevents the duplicate records.
Okay.
And second one is we can ensure the data integrity of, for example, primary key enforces the uniqueness and not null constraints that keeps the accurate and consistent result of primary key.
Okay.
And third one, we
So,
can use.
so Shailesh, we can just simplify this answer a lot. Instead of
Okay.
just see, whenever we are answering, the answer should come in a very simple word, right? We should not give so much complex answers if the interviewer predicts that how you are reading or whatever you're doing. We should be simplified. We should give always simplified answer. So when I say
Okay.
benefit of primary key, so the very first thing that comes into the picture is that primary key, there can be only one primary key in a table, but it is not necessary that it is made up of one column. There is two types of primary key. One is which is made up of one column, and in certain situation, primary key could be a composite primary key, which is consisting of two columns also, right? So first is this thing. So primary key has two constraints already added with it. That is, it is unique and not. So obviously, it will give us a unique record, which will ensure consistency and integrity of data. But what are the other benefits of adding a primary key? It is already preventing the duplicate and null values. But obviously, there is one extra thing that comes into the picture is that primary key creates a clustered index, right? So whenever you create a primary key or a unique key or a foreign key, they all create index. Index is what? Something which makes the searching faster because they help us to store the data in sorted format. But primary key, it creates a clustered index. So that means the original table, whatever the original table is, it is getting sorted according to the primary key. So whenever we are going to perform the search operation, it is very quick, right? Because if we are trying to find something from a sorted area, it will be quick. For example, a book. A book is always in a sorted manner. Pages are always sorted. So when you try to search for a page, you can quickly find it because it is sorted. So imagine if it is not sorted, what is going to happen? But book is always sorted according to the page number, not like sorted according to the chapter name alphabetically. There could be various ways of sorting, right? But it is not like that. But you could have some sorting ways like that separately present. So that is called as a non-clustered index, right? So basically, primary key has a benefit that it helps to make the searching very fast by creating a clustered index. And the last point that comes into the primary key, since it is unique and not null, so it helps us to maintain the relationship between the other two. Generally, when we are creating a foreign key, that foreign key is nothing but a primary key of another table. So that is how it actually helps us to maintain the referential integrity also. So these are the benefits of primary key. The more simpler way you will give your answer, the more examples you are going to give when you are explaining the things, it will be more beneficial for you. Okay? So don't just twist around the words. Don't just make your answers very complex. Make it very simple, very, very simple so that it is understandable to you as well as to interviewer. Okay? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now let us move towards the next question. So we all know what is the benefit of primary key now. Now guys, there is one more thing that is there in the SQL that is called a unique key. So what is the difference between primary key and unique key? This is the question. So whenever you're going for the interview, always the questions are connected. See, when I was explaining the primary key, I even took this name unique. I even took the name foreign key, right? So now the interviewer might be interested in knowing whether you know these concepts also very well. So they always dive deeper in the question. So always, whenever you are answering, you should be knowing what you're saying and you should have a deep meaning of it. Okay. So who can answer what is the difference between primary key and unique key? Yes, Shubham.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, primary key do not contain any null values, whereas unique key can allow one null values.
One null
Primary
value.
key,
Can I say null value just? See,
yes,
unique key
yes,
allows null value. We will not say one null value. We will simply say that it allows null value.
one null,
Right.
yes.
One null. No, not one null. Only null. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Primary key have as per the table, only one primary key is there, and
Okay.
whereas multiple unique keys are allowed. Uh, Primary
Okay.
key creates a clustered index, whereas the unique key creates not non-clustered index. The
Right.
purpose of primary key is to identify the row uniquely, and the purpose of unique key is to ensure the uniqueness of column values.
Right. So basically, suppose there is a table, right? Let us take an example to understand this thing, and then I'll explain you the differences. Suppose there is a table, student table, right? So in the student table, if I talk about admission number, that will always be something on the basis of which we are going to find the data. So that will act as a primary key. It will be unique. It will be not null. But if you are storing a student information and you want to ensure that every student should not have a same email ID or the phone number. Maybe phone number could be same because in the phone number we are storing parents' phone number and there could be two students, two siblings who are studying. They have the same phone number. So this column might not be unique. But email of every student should be different. Or we can say Aadhaar card number of every student should be different. So to ensure that no two values are same, we use unique key. So see, primary key we have already discussed, it uniquely identifies each record and it cannot contain the null value. So there could be students who does not have the email ID, right? So unique key will only ensure that the values in the columns are unique, but it can have null value. Okay. So unique key guarantees uniqueness of values in a column, okay, and providing the null entries also. It only restricts the duplicate entry. And if I talk about in a table, there can be only one primary key because the original table is getting sorted according to that. But unique key can be multiples. So as I just said, unique key also creates a non-clustered index because of which also the searching becomes faster. Okay. Generally, when we choose primary key, it has to be chosen in such a way that it generally don't get modified easily. Like admission number generally remains the same when you join till your end, but email ID can still change. So you can make it as unique. Phone number can also be unique. It can still change, right? Aadhaar number also generally do not change, but admission number is always the same when you join the school till you leave the school. So unique key can be something which can be modified. The primary key should be chosen with a perspective, which does not change frequently. Okay. So that is how try to give again full explanation. Okay. Now guys, we have just discussed about primary key, unique key. Then I have just used one keyword also that is foreign key. Okay. So can you now explain me what is foreign key? And then there is a question that I have written. Can we set it to not null? Means what? Can a foreign key can be null, right? Is this relationship optional or not, right? Do we always have to add some entry inside the foreign key or can we leave it blank? Abhijit, can you just explain me what is foreign key?
Sure, ma'am. Uh, so basically, foreign key is a field in table used to link with another table using its primary key.
Right.
Mm,
Can you give me an example to explain me that why we are using this concept of foreign key? What happens if there is no foreign key that is present in two tables? Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. If we want to get the something from another table, uh, to get that data, so we join it through foreign key.
Okay. Can you give me some example? Just take example of two tables. Take any two tables like employee department, student course. Take any two tables and explain me the foreign key in relevance to that two tables.
Suppose we have a one table employee. In employee, we have a one department column,
Right. Right.
and another we have another table department. So in department table we have in department table we have primary key of its ID, department ID. So
Right.
we join the department ID from employees tables DID, department IDs.
Okay. Okay. So why we are doing it? Yes, Shubha. Why we are doing it?
We are doing it for the reference.
Okay. What will happen? Can you elaborate?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, as Abhijit said, we are joining the department table and the employee table,
Right.
and the department ID is the foreign key in a employee table.
Right.
Yes, it references the department ID from the department table.
So let me give a brief understanding about it. So basically, how it is maintaining the referential integrity is if I am having a department tables, let's say it has a department 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have the employee table wherein I am using the department ID as a foreign key, is acting as a foreign key, which is referencing the department table, right? Where DID is the primary key, right? So if you're trying to add an employee with a department ID, say 6, it is going to give you an error. It is not making sure that you add it. Why? Because there is no reference of 6 department ID that is found in the department table, right? So it will not allow because you do not have any department ID related to 6 in your department table. But if you add the department 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will allow you, right? So that is how it creates a reference, right? So only the data that is present, only the reference that is present in another table can be utilized in the other table. So this is how it maintains the reference. Like this, you have to explain. And then you can tell me that what is foreign key? It is something which is a primary key in other table and it ensures the referential integrity. Now, the question is, can we set it to not null? Can we set it to null? First of all, tell me, does foreign key allows duplicate and null values? Yes, Shailesh, does foreign key allow duplicate and null values?
No, ma'am.
Wrong answer. Shubham?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Foreign key
Foreign
allows.
key can be
Allows.
duplicate, right? There could be multiple
Yes.
employees in the same
Multiple.
department.
Yes.
So foreign key value can be null and it can be duplicate. Null means there could be an employee whose department we have not allocated till yet, right? But can we set it to not null? Yes, we can add this not null constraint to the foreign key. Means what will happen if I do it as not null? So by default, what is the behavior of foreign key? It can be null, right? So if you want that whenever you are creating a reference to the another table, every time it has to be some value. So whenever you are adding an employee, there has to be a department allocated to it, right? So when you want to do like that, then you can set it to not null. But by default, it can have null values and it can have duplicate values, right? So please understand the question in the terms of this twist and turns also. Okay. Okay. So next question is, guys, what are the different clauses in SQL? Right. So yes, Shailesh, what are the different clauses in SQL? Just tell me few clauses which you are aware about.
Uh, there are few clauses that where clause that filter the rows based on the condition before grouping,
Okay.
and order by that sorts the result set by one or more columns
Okay.
by ascending and descending order. And the third one is group by group rows with the same values that specified the columns.
Okay.
And another is a having clause that filters group create by the group based on the aggregate conditions.
Okay.
And there's
Any other?
and the last one was limit and check. Uh,
Okay. Check is a
by
constraint. Check is not a
Sorry,
clause.
limits, ma'am.
Limit. Okay.
Limit clause.
Okay. So basically, we have various clauses that are present because of which we are able to apply certain conditions, certain filtration, certain sorting. Right. So as stated by Shailesh, there are various clauses present. Where means filtration. Right. Filtration on the normal data, row by row. Then we have order by. This is used for sorting. So by default, what is the behavior of sorting, Abhijit? If I'm writing, yes.
Sorting means we can sort it by its
Let's say if
ascending
I'm
or
writing
descending.
sort by salary. So will it be ascending or descending?
By default, it will be ascending.
Yes. So first thing is by default, if I talk about it, there is no order by. It sorts by the primary. And if I'm writing order by and I'm writing the column name, then it will sort it in the ascending order. So if you want it into the descending order, you have to write it. Okay. Then we have limit. Limit basically means that when we want to restrict the number of rows. Then we have group by. Group by means to group the rows based on the column. And after grouping, if you want to apply certain condition, that can be done using having clause. Then there is some more clauses like between clause to give the range of values, right? That it should fall in between this range. We have in clause to mention to basically reduce the multiple odds. We have not in clause, right? Not in basically it should not fall within this range. And there is one more clause that is used for pattern matching, that is live, wherein we basically match the data on the basis of certain pattern. For example, if I want to say that my name has to start with S, so there is some abbreviations like percentile and underscore that is used for the same. So these are the various clauses that are present in SQL. And accordingly, we write the queries using these clauses. Right, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let us move towards the next question, guys. And the last question for today's session, that is, we have right now used two clauses. We have right now talked about two clauses, that is where and having, right? So a little bit answer was already given by Shailesh, but still we want to discuss this question, that what is the difference between where and having clause? And let me tell you, this is a very, very important interview question that is being asked. Shubham, can you answer this question?
Yes, ma'am. Where clause filters the row before grouping them, whereas having filters groups after group by statement.
Okay.
Where clause uh, can be used for row by row filtering, whereas having is used for aggregate level, means after a grouping by the table.
Okay.
In the where clause, aggregation functions are not allowed, whereas in having clause, the aggregation functions are allowed. For example, in where clause, we can use like salary greater than 50,000, and in having clause, we can group after grouping, we can count number of employees, or yeah, it should be greater than 5.
So basically,
That's all.
where I'm having in SQL, they both help us to filter the data, right? But the stages are different. What is the stage for where clause? It is before any kind of grouping, before any kind of aggregation. And it can be used with all the queries. It can be used with select, it can be used with update, it can be used with delete. It can be used with all the different queries that we have. But when it comes to having clause, this basically came up only for the filtration, which is done after grouping the data. Because after grouping the data, if you want to apply certain filtration, you can't use where clause. Okay. So having clause basically came for that purpose. So when we talk about having, it is basically filtered based on the aggregate function. So where clause is processed before the group by and having clause is processed after the group by. So one more thing is there, when you are using having clause, you can only put the filtration based on the columns, based on the data that is fetched after grouping. You cannot filter on any other perspective. If you want to do, you have to do it on where clause. So having clause can be used only with the group by with select query. You cannot use having with update and delete. So that is the difference between where and having clause. So I hope, guys, today's questions were pretty clear, and now you know how to answer each one of these questions. You have an idea that very first thing is try to give your answers in pointers, try to give them as simple as possible. Use some technical words related to SQL. Try to give always examples of each and every answer that you're giving. And lastly, whenever you're going to giving an answer, have the confidence, because the confidence comes only when the topic is well understood. If you have understood the topic deeply, then you will be able to give the answer if there is any twist and turns also on the question being asked. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.